Hey everybody, this is Matt Mayoka coming at you from Raymond James Stadium in Tampa Bay after the 49ers. Actually, it's in Tampa. Tampa Bay is the body of water, but it's the home of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and the 49ers come out of here with a 23-20 fly by the seat of their pants victory in week 10. We'll have the complete wrap up. But first, this is brought to you by Canyon Club Brewery. It's a brewery, a restaurant with tasty bites, a beer garden, all in a very family-friendly atmosphere in Moraga, California, right down the street from where I live. Definitely one of my go-to spots. So a big shout out to the people at Canyon Club. Stop by, tell them I sent you, and who knows, I might be there sometime. So come over and say hi if you see me there. Also, Canyon Club Brewery coming soon to the Danville Livery. So keep an eye open for that. Okay, so I'm not quite sure what to make of the 49ers victory over the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Brock Purdy started off slow, came on strong. The defense had its moments, definitely really good in pass defense. Then they had like this inexplicable string of bad plays toward the end, but when they needed a stop, they made a stop. And then their special teams, kind of bad throughout. Jake Moody was really bad. 6 field goal attempts, 3 made, 3 misses, but the big one came at the not in overtime. It came at the very last play of regulation, a 44-yard field goal attempt that he made after missing a 44-yard field goal attempt. And that one was interesting because 49ers had a chance to take a 6-point lead. He misses the field goal. Deebo Samuel described himself as being a little bit out of character. He came onto the field and was basically like lock in, what's going on kind of thing. Tabor Pepper, the long snapper, I really didn't like that Deebo came over with such aggression, and those two kind of appeared to mix it up. Everybody kind of sloughed it off as the emotions of the game. The way I looked at it was obviously not a good look for the 49ers. And I think it really pointed to the desperate nature that the 49ers felt as they entered this game against Tampa Bay. In the pregame meeting at the team hotel on Saturday, Kyle Shanahan expressed to his team, he really drove home the point that this was going to be a tough game, that Tampa Bay was going to be playing, their absolute best, coming off the loss to the Kansas City Chiefs in overtime. And this was a game that they felt like they really needed to win. And so they were going to spare no expense. They were going to go after this game. The 49ers were going to get their best shot. Well, things opened the second half of the season for the 49ers pretty much how they played the entire first half, which was a lot of stuff didn't go right. Special teams was a disaster. The red zone offense wasn't very good. At times, the defense, had its miscues as well. But ultimately, the 49ers pull it out. So they do have a 5-4 record. They're right there in the mix in the NFC West. But one area I'd really like to talk about is just, the guys who are coming back. Christian McCaffrey was back. He was back in full force. There was none of this easing him into the mix. Oh, no. He started. He played the first 11 snaps. They got him in and out a little bit. But Christian McCaffrey, to me, it showed the desperation of the 49ers that they need to win this. They need to win this game, which they did. They had to do anything they could to win it. I think that's why Deebo Samuel's, temperature rose beyond boiling and got into that little mix up with Tabor Pepper and Jake Moody. But I mean, the 49ers really felt like this was a game that they could not let slip away, a game that they should have won, and they did win. It wasn't easy, but they got there. So Christian McCaffrey, not a big threat on the ground, 13 carries for 39 yards, but where he made his presence felt was also in the passing game. And actually, big assist to him on the final drive when the 49ers held the Buccaneers to a field goal to make it a 2020 game, 41 seconds left. 49ers take over and they move, 4 plays, 39 yards to get into field goal range for Jake Moody for the redemption. Jake Moody said he wanted another chance. He got it. He made it. the 49ers win. But where McCaffrey was important late in the game, you would think 49ers need some yards with 41 seconds left, that McCaffrey would be a big part of that. Instead, he was in on pass protection. So, his protection at the running back position enabled Juwan Jennings to catch a 6-yard pass. Ricky Pearsall, a 6-yard pass. Pearsall, a 14-yard pass. And Juwan Jennings, a 13-yard pass to get the 49ers into field goal range for the 44-yarder walk-off field goal. So, Ricky Pearsall, huge game for him. His third game back after the just incredible situation that he went through. I mean, every time I say it, I kind of just have to like take a step back and realize what I'm just saying is real. That on August 31st, he was a victim of an armed robbery attempt. The gun discharged, bullet went through the right side of his chest, out the back, no bones, no vital organs, nothing touched, just leaving scar tissue that he had to work out. And he was back on the field, 50 days later, making his debut after missing the first 6 games. And then this was his shining moment, returning to Florida, where he played his final 2 years of college football. And he catches in this game 4 passes for 73 yards, including a 46-yard touchdown that got the 49ers on the scoreboard. A pass play with that was open earlier in the game, and he said that he ran the wrong, didn't run the wrong route, but he cut his route short or went too far. It wasn't the right depth. The pass was behind him. The next time he and Brock Purdy hooked up, and he catches it over the linebackers, and then he races Antoine Winfield to the pylon and did the little stutter step, showed his 4.41 40-yard speed. That's what he was timed at in the combine, gets it into the end zone. And so Ricky Pearsall gets his first touchdown in the NFL, showing right there why the 49ers made him a first-round draft pick, number 31 overall. So the 49ers did get Christian McCaffrey back, but they didn't solve the team's red zone issues. They were 1 of 3 in the red zone, and the one touchdown they got in the red zone was kind of a crazy one. George Kittle said that his assignment on that play was just to make sure the safety was covering him, so that would open it up for McCaffrey. Brock Purdy takes his drop back, has plenty of time, can't find anybody open, and then he buys, I don't know, I didn't have the stopwatch out, but a long time, scrambled around, and then at that point, Kittle realizes that the play's still alive, so maybe there's an opportunity for him to get involved. He created some separation in the back left corner. Purdy threw it up to him. George Kittle, as we see him every day before practice, he works on contested catches. He works on the sideline tap, getting both feet in. He works with Brian Fleury, the team's team's tight ends coach, on that discipline. He made the catch, got both feet in, and so a touchdown pass. So Brock Purdy's day, the one touchdown pass to Pearsall, the touchdown pass to Kittle. Brock Purdy, after a slow start, he said he just didn't feel like he was in a good rhythm. Well, he ended up on a very high note, 25 completions on 36 attempts, 353 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions, a passer rating of 119.3. Meanwhile, Baker Mayfield having a very good season for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. His stat sheet, only 116 yards passing for him on 18 of 29 passing, 1 touchdown, no interceptions. His passer rating was 82. But think about that, 116 yards passing for a guy who's been very prolific. And he was sacked a couple of times as well. So the bottom line, Tampa Bay's net passing, only 105 yards. So the defense for the 49ers played very well, and they tightened up when they had to, down when Tampa Bay had the ball at the 5-yard line. 49ers had all those penalties. Rock Ya-Sin, Fred Warner, Malik Collins, Evan Anderson, all those guys had penalties on that drive in which Tampa was marching down, hoping to take the lead late in the game. 49ers defense stiffens in large part from a run stop by Evan Anderson to drop Rachaad White for a 3-yard loss. So it moved Tampa Bay behind the chains a little bit. 49ers defense holds. They have to settle, Tampa Bay does, for the field goal. which left Brock Purdy and company 41 seconds to work their magic and to pull out the victory. So I'm not quite sure what to make of this other than the 49ers dominated on the stat sheet. They did not dominate on the scoreboard. 413 yards of total offense compared to 215 for Tampa Bay. 49ers averaged 6.8 yards per play, per offensive play, 6.8 yards compared to 3.7 for Tampa. So one of the takeaways of this is I just can't figure out these 49ers because they have the talent. They had guys coming back. They didn't solve their red zone issues, but does this team have what it takes to go on the road and beat Green Bay, to go on the road and be competitive against Buffalo, to beat Detroit later in the season? Right now with the Arizona Cardinals leading the division, and they don't have a very strong record, a strong schedule the rest of the way. The 49ers just have very little room for error. So I just don't know if this team has what it takes, the 49ers. I think they do from the standpoint of a lot of these names I've been mentioning. They're good players. And the 49ers did play very well pass defense wise, even without Charvarius Ward. And, shout out to Charvarius Ward. It's just, acknowledgement of what he's gone through. His daughter, the service for her was Friday. She passed away on October 28th, just shy of her second birthday. So the 49ers were playing without a really good defensive back, but the 49ers defensive backs rose to the occasion with Diamador Lenore, with Renardo Green, with Isaac Yadam, with Rock Yassin. And so they made the plays they had to make. But my question is time running out on the 49ers? They've kind of hung around that 500 mark. Now they're above 500. They've won back-to-back games for the first time all season. They're looking to put together a win streak like they've been able to do in the second half of the seasons. And why have they been able to do that? I think it's because they have a locker room that hangs together, that is a professional locker room. It's mature. They don't get too far ahead of themselves. I just wonder if what we saw late in the game with Deebo Samuel and Jake Moody and Tabor Pepper is, kind of a crack in that. We'll see. I mean, everybody was saying the right things after the game. Deebo Samuel called it out of character. But, Jake Moody talked about, the emotions of the game. So at least publicly, nobody was taking it too personally. But you just wonder, where this team is right now. And I do think they have the pieces in place with McCaffrey coming back, with Juwan Jennings, with the addition of Ricky Pearsall. They do have the guys on the team to make that run and to contend for a championship. It's just the point is right now, they haven't shown it consistently. They haven't played a full game. As Fred Warner was asked about, they don't have a signature win. He said, what about week one? Well, the New York Jets, aren't a great team. And so the 49ers haven't put that full game together yet. I do believe they're capable. They showed bits and pieces in this game. In fact, for every area of the team that was bad at some point, when they needed it most, they made good plays. And that includes special teams where, they give up a muffed punt, a turnover, when the ball, when Darrell Luter was blocked into Jacob Cowing, muffed punt. Tampa Bay recovers. They score an immediate touchdown. Of course, the 3 missed field goals from Jake Moody. So a lot of bad plays on special teams, but ultimately the final play of the game was a success on special teams and the 49ers win. Same with offense, same with defense. Every area of this team had its bad moments. You could say coaching, how the 49ers squandered an opportunity to score points at the end of the first half. But obviously Shanahan called the right plays. They moved the ball down the field to set up the winning points. So it's one of these games, kind of a head scratcher. I'm sure the fan base was very frustrated for large parts of this game as the 49ers had their opportunities to run away from it and hide. But that's been the story, folks, of the 2024 San Francisco 49ers. They show flashes. They don't sustain it. And either they let big leads get away, as they did on 2 occasions, and they lost those games against the Rams and the Cardinals, or they let some leads get away games that you think they have in hand. They have to fight for dear life and hold on to victories that are a lot more tense, a lot more stressful than they need to be. All right. Thank you for watching this video. I would love to read your comments coming off of this game. Also, please subscribe if you haven't already. Leave a like, turn on your notifications. And again, thank you for watching. And that's it for now.